Keep yourself in the loop of everything football. Listen to Alex and Jeremiah on the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Hello there, I'm Jeremiah.
I am Alex, always and forever here.
Dedicated to college and NFL football. The latest football news on and off the field. NFL draft trade rumors. We've got you covered from the NFL, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC, and everything else in between. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, where we talk the latest news, rumors, and games out of the NFL and college football. From the latest science to this year's breakout stars and all the news in between. As always, I'm Jeremiah.
And hey, man, I'm Alex.
And happy Monday morning. Yes, we're starting a new schedule today.
How you doing?
Doing good, man.
Yeah, we're starting a schedule. We're going to have a show for you. One show, Monday through Friday.
Yes.
Friday is only going to be Jeremiah, though?
No, I think...
Oh, we're actually going to bring in some other people, too.
I think we might have
share the workload,
a new co-host on Friday.
You might have a special guest.
We might... we'll get into that later too.
Yeah, maybe we won't. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're gonna see. Tell them what we're talking about.
Oh man,
before I can hardly hold it in.
All right.
I say I can hardly hold it in, but hardly hold it in.
That didn't make any sense. But
I know. I was fumbling my words.
You were fumbling like Mar Sanchez. Oh, damn. Okay. All right. Let's get going. All right.
That's
Today
funny.
we got so much to talk about regarding quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Two quarterbacks in particular made so many headlines.
Yeah,
weekend,
that's true. They're going to end up probably doing the exact same thing as one another, except for one just kind of in a different format. We'll talk about that, obviously.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So which quarterback should we talk about first? Should we talk about the one in Dallas or the one in San Francisco?
Well, I don't know if you can call him a quarterback, so let's talk about the quarterback, Tony Romo. Let's talk about Tony Romo. So Tony Romo got his first action, technically speaking, in the preseason this week. They played the Seahawks, and they lost 27-17 against the Seahawks over there in CenturyLink Field. But that's not the biggest story. The biggest story is on his first or second drive.
It was a third play.
Third play
of the drive.
Yeah, Romo went. He scrambled out. You know, he had somebody
Got
trailing him. He went to slide, too. So he was trying to be safe. You know, he was going to slide behind the line of scrimmage, even. And the guy jumped on his back. And
it was Cliff Averill, I think, that hit him.
Yeah, compressed his back. Romo has been known to have a bad back in the past. Well, you know, he said that if this is any indication of things to come, you know, he felt good following this because it's probably said the hardest hit his back's taken in the last, 4 years. So, you know, he said it's good to get it out of the way, I suppose. Well, turns out, and it comes Saturday, that it wasn't just any injury. He broke a vertebrae in his back.
Yes.
And is likely out 6 to 10 weeks.
Man.
And that's a very up. Garrett won't comment on that.
It's a
range,
different.
So.
It's a different bone that's broken too from his. I think it's two transverse fractures from 2014.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he had that little back injury. But man, Romo is 36 years old. All kinds of back injuries, even the clavicle injuries from last year, which I think was the same one twice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I think, honestly, Romo might have to start thinking about retirement.
Yeah, or just he might end up in another team. Is the case? You know, a lot of teams will take Tony Romo. A lot of teams.
Oh, they will. But I'm saying, like, from a long-term health standpoint, I think Romo should probably think about it. I'm not saying he should. I'm just saying maybe he should think about it. Because, dude, a back injury, come on, he had, like 2 different back injuries in 3 years. That's like, come on, that's a really harsh thing to come back from. And don't get me wrong, Tony Romo can look like he can still play, but he just can't stay healthy for a full season anymore.
At least he hasn't been for
for about the last 3 years. I think 4 years actually. I think it's his 4th straight year with an injury.
Yeah, at least an injury of some sort. Yeah, this is pretty bad for them. At least for him in that sense. I mean, they look to be in a good spot. Dak Prescott obviously has played insanely well this preseason.
Oh, he's been playing so well. I think he has like over 400 yards, 8 touchdowns, 8 total touchdowns, 6 of them. No, is it 6 passing and 2 rushing? Yes,
yeah,
and no interceptions.
No interceptions.
And only 11 incompletions too. So I'm actually excited to see Dak Prescott, be inserted in as the starting quarterback week 1. I think he's going to be the fourth rookie in franchise history to start week 1 for the Cowboys. So they're going to have a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back week 1. So, no. But they've been performing pretty well. Dak Prescott especially, and then Ezekiel Elliott.
He had a good game.
He's pretty dynamic, and he did show it in the last preseason game.
Yeah, he had a good game. He looked impressive, to say the least. He showed some bursts and some flashes what he showed there at Ohio State. And I was talking to my co-host in the sports show, Ben. He showed something I didn't know he possessed, and that was just pure disregard for taking a hit. Yeah. He broke. It was a draw, not drop, but it was more of a. It was like a outside rush. He took really wide and then cut up field, broke some not tackles, but broke through some blockers up to the secondary and went straight for Cam Chancellor.
Yeah, he's
went
a
right
bruiser,
at
man.
him. He saw him and went at him. Yeah. I didn't expect him to be as much of a bruiser as he is too. I thought he was more of a quick guy. I think that's because he was in space so often. In Ohio State,
it was the offense that he played in.
Yeah, they did create space. Yeah, but he saw him, and that's not the only time he did it too in the game. He did it earlier in the game too, and he stood Chancellor up. I wouldn't say one of them over the other won the. They kind of even keeled each other, and then because they did that, 2 other guys came over, kind of helped finish the tackle. But it was I was like, whoa,
yeah,
whoa. It reminds me of Le'Veon Bell a little bit and Arian Foster, those guys that were really quick, but you didn't know they possessed the power they did. Bell will stand you up. He had a really blow-up block in the preseason game this weekend. He blew the rusher up. I was like, whoa, first preseason action. He looked good. Arian Foster the same way. Like he wasn't, before he had the injury bug, he could dish out hits, And so that was really cool to see out of Ezekiel. But I think it puts him in a good position, They built that offensive line to be successful. Funny enough, they built that offensive line to keep Romo healthy, and it's not. I wouldn't blame them on that because it was a kind of a wacky play he was rolling out. And again, I feel bad for the dude. He was trying to slide. He was trying to be safe. I feel bad for him, definitely for that. I've always liked Romo in that aspect, but they've built this offensive line to be successful. That running game is really going to help. He's got. Dak has played well. He's got that security blanket that any quarterback would take in Jason Witten. You have
Des Bryant,
who he already seems to have a good connection with. He's thrown 2 touchdowns to him this preseason.
You've seen it against the LA Rams in the first preseason game.
Yeah, let alone the second game against the Dolphins. Like I said, he has 2 touchdown passes to him, both Romo-esque type of passes. Passes that you need to give Romo. That Romo will give Dez in terms of this is your ball, go get it. If you don't get it, no one's going to get it kind of thing. And he's thrown those, especially the first one. I was like, dude, that looked like if I didn't see the quarterback that threw it, I would have assumed Romo threw that, And, you have one of the best, definitely top 5, if not top 3 receivers in the league with him. You have a good array of receivers. Cole Beasley's a good slot guy. Terrence Williams is still there. Good young guys. And the defense could be better. That's probably going to be the thing that might hold them back as a team. But Ben and I were talking about it. He kind of likes the Giants in the division. I like the Redskins, but I think the Cowboys can still win a decent amount of games. The beginning of their schedule is going to be tough. They have back-to-back division games start the year off against the Giants and the Redskins, as I mentioned before. And then the Bears and the Niners, Those are 4 games they could easily win and go 4-0 depending on how this team looks. I definitely see them beating the Giants. The Redskins will be tough. They always struggle against the Redskins.
Yeah, the last year's division champion.
Yeah, the Bears, I don't know how they're looking this year. I do believe they beat the Niners.
Yes, we'll talk about them.
Yeah, we'll talk about them in a sec after our first break. And then to close out those first 6 weeks, if, say, Romo is back as fast as possible, they have the Bengals and then the Packers. So those are 2 tough. Those are probably their 2 toughest games of the first 6 games. But I am excited to see how this team looks because apart from the defense, this young offense looks very intriguing.
Yeah, I think Dak Prescott kind of brings some excitement out there in Dallas. The plays that he made plays with his feet, but most importantly, though, he looks so poised in the pocket. Mm-hmm. That's just what impressed me so much. And when he was at Mississippi State, Dak Prescott, that was one of the biggest improvements he made in his final year at Mississippi State was being like a pocket passer because he knew he knew if you wanted to play in the league, that's what you have to do. So I'm really excited to see, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott together.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
They looked really good together on the same field.
Did they play much together?
They did.
I think they played a couple series together.
They did.
Right?
They played a couple series together.
Because they got him out of there because of his hamstring.
Yeah. Well, they wanted to, kind of keep Ezekiel Elliott healthy. They don't want to run him down to the ground, but
yeah, I mean, he, like you said, I think he ended up having 45 yards on the ground. 48 yards. And Dak again had another great game, 116 yards and touchdown. I'm very interested to see what he can do in a full game's action.
Yo, me too. I'm really excited what he can do in a full 4-quarter game. And the thing about the Cowboys is they're in a very easy division.
In this, it's one of the, and it's not easy, but it's definitely one of the easier.
It's competitive, but it's also winnable. Like each team could pretty much take it. Because I think the past couple of years, 10 or 9 wins can get you a division title in the East.
Well, last year, it was a little different.
It was a little different. I'm saying recent history.
Well, I'm saying, last year 9 wins won the division, so
that's what I'm saying.
And we've seen
history.
8 wins win that division. So yeah, it's definitely, and I don't mean weak. Obviously, it's a good division.
I said it's competitive.
It's competitive, but it's one of the weaker.
But it's winnable, for every team.
Yeah, exactly. Every team could go subpar, in this division.
So the Cowboys they look
they look interesting.
They look interesting.
They don't look dangerous. They don't.
They're interesting. They're an interesting team now to watch when the season opens in 2 weeks.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Like I said, they're reopening the season against the Giants, in whom they have opened the season numerous times against, and actually one of the teams that are responsible for hurting Romo the first time I think he hurt his collarbone. So that is the Giants at home for them. And that is this month. Oh my God! Not this Sunday, but the following Sunday.
I know we're getting
September
there.
11th.
We're getting there. Yes.
They have a 1:25 start on Fox. Man, I'm excited.
Pacific time.
Yes, Pacific. That's our time. Yeah, that'll be a 4:25 start.
You gotta forget,
we
gotta get it on West Coast.
Yes, I hate to fool you. All right. Well, hey, let's take our first break. We'll come back. We will talk NFC West.
Yes.
In a second. We'll be right back at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, we're back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, and a little bit of breaking news in a sense, and we will look at the Denver Broncos quarterbacks, battle that's been going on.
We finally have a starter.
We finally have a named starter
for Week 1.
Yeah, the Broncos have named Trevor Siemian starter for Week 1 against their Super Bowl rematch opponents, Carolina Panthers. Former 7th-round pick. Yeah, man, this would have made them, if he didn't start, if somebody else started, it would have made them the second team ever to start a quarterback the year following a Super Bowl championship that wasn't on the roster prior that year, and that would have matched the Ravens of 2001 that had Trent Dilfer, obviously, and they let Dilfer walk, and I forget who I don't want to say it was something Banks was their quarterback the following year, but it would have made them the second team, obviously, but yes, he is starting. They still have Sanchez on the roster. I discussed it in the break of whether or not they should trade him. I think they should hold on or cut him. I think they should hold on to him. They did trade a conditional pick for him. He's going to make 4.5 against salary cap. I feel like you might as well hold on to him because if Simeon doesn't really take a handle on this, you have somebody who could take over. That, no offense to Paxton Lynch, has done it before, and who could be more ready to do it. So
Well, Paxton Lynch was the number 2 quarterback in their last preseason game.
Yeah, there's a lot that you can look into that, whether or not they didn't have Sanchez play, because you know what you're going to get with Sanchez at this point. You know how he's going to play.
They probably just wanted to see Trevor Siemian more with the first team.
And maybe more Lynch, too, because Lynch did pretty much play the entire second half plus, I think. So they could have looked at it that way. So I kind of called this in the sense of I felt like he did more to show knowledge of the offense and lack of turning the ball over, than maybe Sanchez did. And again, maybe it's just the offense knowledge.
Like I said earlier, it was Mark Sanchez's job to lose, and he didn't do anything to fully grasp that starting quarterback job. He didn't do anything in the preseason. He didn't do anything in particular. And Seaman just basically outperformed him.
He played more sound. I think maybe he showed like some. He's somebody that can definitely win you the game, or at least not lose you the game.
Exactly.
I'm excited. I like Service. I really do. But moving on, we're going to move on to a team that was almost a trade partner with the Broncos.
Yes, and this quarterback in particular.
Yeah, so go ahead and lay it on us.
Yeah, there's Jay Glizzer of Fox Sports said that the 49ers might cut Kaepernick, Colin Kaepernick, that is, before the regular season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it came out with the news, this entire week. So he got his first action in the preseason. Didn't start. He got in there. He looked pretty bad once again to the Packers' their loss against the Packers 21-10. Let's put it this way. Real quick, I'll tell you his stats. He had 14 yards passing on 2 completions of 6 attempts. He had 1 pass for 14 yards.
And the other one
was 2 yards.
Yep. That sounds about right. That's the Kaepernick we all know.
Yeah, he had 10 yards rushing 18 yards rushing. His long was 10 on a 3rd and 13 that he came up short on. All of his runs he seemed to come up short on. Normally this Kaepernick, where you expect him to get these yards, people closed on him really quickly. And he looked bad.
Not only did he look bad, he just looked like his confidence is completely gone on the field.
It does.
Like he just regressed so much from last year. Last season he played really bad. I didn't know you can play even worse than what he did last year. He just got playing worse. And like I said on the show, I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners cut Colin Kaepernick. And then, Alex, you kind of disagree with me a little bit, but now I honestly see I wouldn't be surprised. I think that's honestly a possible way they can go.
To cut him?
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. I could see that happening.
Yeah, and if the Niners do cut Colin Kaepernick, I don't know if a team is going to even take a chance on him. This was his shot to try out for other teams to see what he can do.
Yeah, and based off the performance.
And based off the performance and based off
other things.
And based off his protests earlier on before Friday's game. His outspokenness might kind of hurt, his chances of getting signed by another team.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think if it gets released, I think it's much more based off of the performance than it is.
That's what, and the report by Jake
as well.
The report by Jake Glazer said, it's for football reasons, and which is you can't argue with that.
No, they're there.
Hasn't performed.
And at the end of the day, Kaepernick has been a distraction to this locker room before, when he wanted his trade and all this stuff. So it could very much be relevant to those things. I don't see it necessarily being relevant to what happened this weekend and so on and so forth. That's the right everybody has, so on. We're not going to really get into it.
No, we're not going to get into it because we're going to get way off course here.
Yeah, but I definitely get what you mean. I saw the same thing. I saw the same rumor, and I would.
And plus, the reason
why I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen.
The reason why I also think they might cut him is because Christian Ponder has actually looked pretty good. Jeff Driscoll looks pretty decent, and Blaine Gabbert, he's probably going to be the starter, even though Blaine Gabbert hasn't even looked.
He hasn't looked that much better.
He doesn't look that much better at all. The Niners are probably. It's just I don't know what to say about this team, honestly.
They're in a rough spot, to say the least.
It's just Yeah, they're probably, you know how we were talking about the Cowboys in the previous segment, they're probably going to be more interesting. Well, the Niners are probably more interesting for all the wrong reasons, but on the field, they're probably going to be the least interesting. Whereas the Cowboys are probably going to be more interesting on the field.
Less interesting off.
Yeah, less
depending
interesting
on how, say Romo comes back and it's like, well, we don't want you to start anymore.
Yeah.
You know? Then we're talking.
Yeah.
Man, it's been a crazy preseason, to say the least.
It's been a crazy weekend. Let's just say that. When all the news about Kaepernick came out about, his protest, the Romo news literally came hours before. So it's like, wow, we got these two huge stories. And I texted Alex. I was like, dude, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
I was kind of excited because we had a lot to talk about. But
we still have
and we're not done yet.
Yeah, we still have the preseason week 3 recap we're going to get into in a second. So let's actually take our last break, as a matter of fact, and we'll come back and we will do that recap here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. Does that sound good to you?
No, I'm kidding. Yeah,
all right, well, I'll be back by myself in just a moment. No, we'll be back in just a moment here, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. And now we're going to be recapping Week 3 action of the NFL preseason. Some scores for you guys here today. Last Thursday, the Dolphins defeated the Falcons 17-6. The Seahawks defeated the Cowboys 27-17. Then Friday's games included the Patriots scoring the victory over the Panthers 19-17. The Redskins defeating the Bills 21-16. The Buccaneers dismantling the Browns 30-13. The Steelers, I know Alex likes this score, 27-14 over the Saints.
Yeah, it was some nice first action from the Killer Bees, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and then the final game that made headlines over the weekend, the Packers defeated 21-10 against the 49ers. And then for Saturday's games, the Chiefs defeated the Bears 23-7. The Ravens having a huge victory over the Lions 30-9. Eagles defeated the Colts 33-23. And the battle of the New York teams, yes, ended up in being a close one. The Giants
Snoopy
defeated
Bowl or whatever it's called.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But the Giants defeated the Jets 21-20, and that was actually, I think that was Victor Cruz's first game back. Actually.
Yeah, he had a catch.
Yeah, man. Honestly, it wasn't much, but it was very exciting to see him back on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tennessee Titans went to the black hole, and Oakland defeated the Raiders 27-14. The Broncos defeated LA Rams 17-9. And for Sunday's triple header, the Vikings defeated the Chargers 23-10. Texans defeated the Arizona Cardinals 34-24. And for the nightcap, the Jacksonville Jaguars defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 26-21. So yeah, man, a lot of great action, actually, to say the least.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games in that stretch. There were some real notable performances. Tom Brady played really well in his first action of the preseason. That was refreshing to see. Like I said, Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown played.
The Killer Bees.
I think they played 2 series with each other. I watched those series. They started. Ben went 12 for 17, 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. And again, in 2 series, Antonio Brown had 4 receptions for 87 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, and Arian Foster scored his first touchdown as a Dolphin.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
And that was very impressive. See, Aaron Rodgers had his first action, threw 60 yards in pretty much 2 series as well, and then sat down. He looked good, had a touchdown pass.
And, in the Cleveland and Tampa Bay game, Josh Gordon.
Oh, man, he's been lights out.
Played lights out. Like, he looked like he's in midseason form already.
Yeah, and which is crazy because he's been sitting this entire time. Robert Griffin III looked great again, 119 yards, touchdown. But like you said, Josh Gordon, he had 2 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. And
He's looking
the
insane.
Best player on offense, looking like the best player on the team. So, what she was. And that's a huge boost for RG3.
Yeah, having a real notable guy like that.
And I'm actually excited to see what Corey Coleman can do also, with Josh Gordon on the other side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be something interesting to look out for this season. And the Browns looking more interesting to say the least than they have been in years. And, the Niners and Packers game, pretty much every quarterback on the 49ers, they got pretty much outperformed by, Callahan, Bob Callahan. I think
Joe Callahan.
Joe Callahan. Yeah.
I kept wanting to call him Bo Callahan.
I do, because of the movie Draft Day.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say, but I was like, no, that's not his name. But dude,
he looked good, though.
Joe Callahan.
16 for 24, 167, touchdown.
The throws that he made.
That across the body bomb he had.
Yeah, dude. The throws that he made, wow, dude.
He looked
good. He outperformed literally every 49er quarterback that night.
Combined.
Exactly.
Yeah, he looked good. He really did. It was impressive to watch. I think, you're in a good spot with him as your third quarterback.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You know what I mean?
And then I wanted a game that I was watching very closely, to say the least, is Tennessee Titans and the Oakland Raiders. First half of the game had Marcus Mariota versus Derek Carr, and it was actually really interesting to watch. Marcus Mariota May throws down the field. I think he was 8 for 16, and I think he had more than 150 yards at one point. But man,
Mariota looked good.
He looked really good, and DeMarco Murray looked good, and Derek Carr and Amari Cooper, that connection that they have, it hasn't gone anywhere. Derek Carr's touchdown to Amari Cooper, I think in the second quarter, dude, that was a great throw and catch. It was a better catch than that throw, in my opinion. But
yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, but this game was pretty exciting in the first half because it had two of the pretty much rising stars in the league. Marcus Mariota and Derek Carr. Mm-hmm. Mariota has been hurt last year, and I'm really looking forward to see what he can do in the full season, especially with a really good team around him. Because the receivers that the Tennessee Titans have, Rashard Lewis and Taji Sharp, they looked really good against Oakland. Even though Oakland's defense were playing they're kind of suspect. They weren't.
Taji Sharp has looked good against a lot of people.
I know, but
preseason.
Taji Sharp looked like he can emerge himself as the number one receiver at the end of the season. Rashard Matthews, he looks pretty good too, coming from Miami. Mm-hmm. So, Tennessee Titans are another interesting team to watch out there.
Yeah, they're going to be a fun offense to watch.
Yeah.
They may not win a lot of games, but they can be very entertaining.
I think they're going to be fast.
Yeah.
You got DeMarco Murray, Derrick Henry, who is not fast. He's a bruiser, but
he's been impressive too.
He's been impressive.
And
there's a tweet I saw about a picture of Derrick Henry. I forgot who it was. Mm-hmm. But the caption of the tweet said, "D end, a running back," in this picture. Derrick Henry. I was like, wow. All right, but
excuse me.
Yeah. So, what games did you pay attention to?
Well, a lot of the same ones you said already, and I'll pretty much get into one last one before we get going, and that's just the Broncos. Not the Broncos. Sorry, I want to say the Broncos. The Cardinals and the Texans. And Brock Osweiler probably played the best he has in the entire preseason. Not saying he was amazing. He was pretty good, though. 11 for 13, 146 yards, passing one touchdown pass in which he threw to his new prized rookie wide receiver, Will Fuller.
Yeah, he's looked pretty good this preseason, too.
Yeah, he looked good. Braxton Miller's looked pretty good. Jalen Strong has looked pretty good. They look
like they're having a little underrated receiving core there in Houston.
Well, they have quite a few players besides, like I said, Will Fuller, DeAndre Hopkins, Braxton Miller. You still have Jalen Strong. You have Cecil Shorts III over there still. Lamar Miller looked pretty good yesterday. I think that was Saturday. In terms of receiving, not so much not receiving, but he's looked good this preseason. Well, he didn't look great last game. He had 4 rushes for 4 yards.
Sunday's game against the Cardinals, Lamar Miller only had 4 yards rushing on 4 attempts.
Yeah, he looked good, though.
But he did have a touchdown, so that's what matters.
Yeah, he had one of them short yardage ones.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I mean, their offense looked better. They're still undefeated in the preseason. And the Cardinals are still winless.
They're still defeated.
Their starting offense didn't look great yesterday. They
Cardinals, right?
Yeah. Palmer was 5 for 9, 64 yards and 2 picks.
Yeah, he threw a touchdown. He threw an interception, I think, in the first drive and a couple plays in.
Yeah, he did. It was not what you want to see from your first team offense in the dress rehearsal game. I thought that there was a lot to be seen in that game, and that we didn't get to see necessarily. Sorry, my allergies, man. But I'm definitely looking forward to week 3. Not today.
You mean
week 4? Excuse me. I'm looking forward to week 1.
Yeah, me too. We're 1 week
serious.
away. So yeah,
But
week 4 is.
Week 4.
We're gonna see a lot of young players play out there.
A lot of bubble guys.
Yeah.
We're going to, of course, preview that for you starting at. Is there games Wednesday this week?
No, it's only Thursday. Every game is on Thursday.
I'm sorry. I meant Thursday. Every game's on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So then we will preview that probably on Thursday for you.
Yes, we will.
But we won't do that now. What I'm going to have Jeremiah do now is I'm going to have him preview tomorrow's show for you because we're going to get out of here.
Yes.
And tomorrow, I think Jeremiah's pretty excited about tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we have our first guest on the show.
What is this person's name?
What
do
they
do?
Huh?
So what is this person's name, and why are they visiting with us?
Okay, we're going to have Brittany Wagner from Netflix series The Last Chance U. Yeah, she's going to take time off her busy schedule and talk to us for I don't know how long. But she's going to be on the show, and we're very excited to have her on there. So,
yeah, we are very excited.
Yeah.
From, like we said, the Netflix television series, The Last Chance U. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's a good show. We're going to obviously interview her, talk to her tomorrow. We'll ask some questions. If you guys have any questions you want us to ask and you care enough, you can go ahead and tweet us.
Yeah, please. Tweet us at GSMC_football.
And this episode will be up pretty early tomorrow. We have a new schedule now. Monday through Friday, we are doing shows, like we said, one every day coming in here. Some days I won't be here, so keep that in mind.
No, you will be here. You will
Most
not be
days
here.
I will be here. Fridays I'm not here.
Yeah.
Jeremiah.
Matter of fact, on Fridays, I think, it's not 100%, but there's a chance that there will be another co-host other than Alex.
Yeah, but Jeremiah will try.
I won't be alone
He'll
yet.
try to replace me.
I'm not going to.
It's not going to
work.
work.
It can't work. It won't. No, it's because when you do, I don't think you've done this show by yourself yet. You haven't done this.
The football one? No, I've done sports by myself though.
When I do this show by myself, it wasn't the same. I would just say that, and then I'm pretty sure
you missed my bubbly.
And then I'm pretty
charm.
sure if you did this show by yourself without me,
it
would not be the same.
Understandable.
Okay, but anyways, we're gonna get out of here, guys, and yeah, tune into tomorrow's show. It's gonna be very good.
Yeah, we can't wait to do it. As always, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play at the GSMC Football Podcast, as well as our website, gsmcpodcast.com. We can find all the wonderful shows on our network. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube if you search the Golden State Media Concepts or GSMC Podcast. You'll find all of the podcasts. And there's always Twitter and YouTube at GSMC_football.
You mean Instagram?
Instagram.
You said YouTube.
Sorry, I said YouTube again. Twitter and Instagram at the handles I just said.
At GSMC_football.
That is correct. As always, we'd like to thank you guys for listening. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jeremiah.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early, for another new episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.